Tenzing Norgay, the man who conquered Mount Everest. Tenzing Norgay was born in 1914 in Nepal or Tibet, as the 11th of 13 children. His father was Gang Larmingma and his mother was Dokmo Kinsum. His father was a yak herder. Yak is a large domesticated wild ox with shaggy hair, humped shoulders, and large horns, used as a pack animal and for its milk, meat, and skin. There are two versions of Tenzing's birthplace. According to Tenzing himself, he was born in a village of Tangboche near Namsa Bazar, Nepal. But according to his son and his colleagues, Tenzing was born in Sichu village, Kama Valley, near Makalu Mountain, Tibet. Both possible birth locations of Tenzing are located very near to Mount Everest. Tenzing was born with the name of Namgyal Wangdi. Young Namgyal spent his early childhood in a village called Moyun in Karta Valley, Nepal, where his father herded yaks. Young Namgyal was very adventurous and ran away from his home twice as a teenager. To fix his attitude, his father took him to see a lama at the Rongbuk Monastery in Tibet. A lama is a title for a monk in Tibetan Buddhism. Rongbuk Monastery is the highest monastery in the world, located 5,000 meters above sea level at the northern foot of Mount Everest. The head monk of Rongbuk Monastery, Ngwang Tenzing Norbu, gave Namgyal a new name, Tenzing Norgay, that translates to wealthy fortunate follower of religion. Namgyal was expected to become a monk, but he decided that was not for him and departed from the monastery. When his father's yaks were dying because of diseases, young Tenzing was sent by his father to work for a Sherpa family in Khumbu, Nepal. A Sherpa, or Sharwa, is an ethnic group of some 150,000 mountain-dwelling people of Nepal, Sikkim and Tibet. They speak Sherpa and Nepali language. Their primary occupation is to assist climbers in the Himalayas. Sherpas act as guide and porter. Their work includes setting up the camps, carrying loads, planning the routes and supporting climbers to reach the summits. At the age of 19, Tenzing moved from Khumbu and settled to a Sherpa community into Uksumbasti village, in the district of Darjeeling, West Bengal, India. Tenzing married to a Sherpa girl named Awaputi and started to work as a Sherpa. Tenzing's first opportunity to join an Everest expedition was when he was 20 years old in 1935. He worked as a porter on a reconnaissance mission on Everest, led by Eric Shipton, a British mountaineer. Eric Shipton led British Everest missions several times. But due to his reluctance to reach the summit, as he preferred to explore the mountains rather than reaching the summit, he was replaced by another British mountaineer, John Hunt, in the successful historical British Everest mission in 1953. After climbing with Shipton, Tenzing joined several climbing expeditions from the Indian side. He also joined 3 British attempts to climb Everest from the Tibetan side. During the World War II in 1940s, there were no climbing activities, hence Tenzing and his family moved from Darjeeling to Chitral state in northwest of India. He worked as a personal assistant for a British military officer named Major Chapman. During this period, his wife died in 1944, leaving him with 2 daughters. After World War II, in 1947, Tenzing with his 2 daughters returned to Darjeeling, India. After the state where they all lived, Chitral state, became a part of Pakistan. Tenzing returned to his old job as a Sherpa. His first assignment was with a Canadian climber, Earl Dinman, and another Sherpa in an attempt to reach the Everest summit. It was the first Everest mission after 10 years of climbing inactivity in the Himalayas due to the World War II. They had reached an altitude of 6,700 meters when a strong storm came and pounded them. They failed to reach the Everest summit. In the same year, Tenzing joined another Himalayas mission with the Swiss team. They successfully reached the Kedarnath summit with an altitude of 6,940 meters. At this point, you might be curious. How many peaks are there in the Himalayas? The answer is about 40 peaks, 11 peaks with an altitude above 8,000 meters, 17 peaks above 7,000 meters, and the rest are lower than 7,000 meters. Mount Everest is the highest summit with an altitude of 8,848.86 meters. The second highest is K2 summit, 8,611 meters, and the third highest is Kanchenjunga, 8,586 meters. Following his success on Kedarnath summit, Tenzing was promoted as a sitter or a Sherpa leader. He took part in many summit attempts by climbers from various countries. The important ones are two summit attempts to Mount Everest by Swiss climbers in 1952. On the first attempt the team managed to reach a new height record of 8,600 meters. On the second attempt the team was stopped by bad weather at an altitude of 8,100 meters. Having known for his efforts with the Swiss team, Tenzing was chosen by the British team led by John Hunt, on a very serious Everest summit attempt in 1953. The expedition team totaled over 400 people, including 362 porters, 20 Sherpas and 4,500 kilograms of baggage. One of the members of John Hunt's team was a New Zealand mountaineer named Edmund Hillary, which later became the first human that reaches the summit of Mount Everest. On one of the climb, Tenzing saved Edmund's life when Edmund almost fell to an open crack in the mountain. Tenzing's prompt action by securing Edmund's rope had saved him from falling to the bottom. Hence, they became very good friends after the incident. The expedition set up base camp in March 1953. In May 1953, the team managed to set up their highest camp at 7,900 meters. On May 26, two of the climbers attempted to climb the summit, but failed due to oxygen system failure. They are 91 meters short from the summit. John Hunt, the leader, directed Edmund and Tenzing to go for the summit. They set out on May 28 with the support from three other climbers. Edmund and Tenzing set up a camp at 8,500 meters while their support team returned down the mountain. On the following morning, Edmund's boots had frozen solid outside the tent. He spent 2 hours warming them before he and Tenzing attempted the final ascent. They wore 14 kilograms packs each when they ascended to the summit. They faced their last obstacle in a form of 12 meters almost vertical rock face that later was named as the Hillary Step. Edmund and Tenzing managed to wedge their ways up through a crack between the rock wall and the ice. Finally, at 11:30 a.m., Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay successfully reached the highest point on Earth, Mount Everest summit at 8,848 meters. They spent only about 15 minutes at the summit. Edmund took photos of Tenzing and the view down the mountain. They carried a stick with flags of Nepal, United Nations, and Britain. They buried some candies, grains, and a cross, out of respect for the deity of the mountain. A week later, on June 6, 1953, Edmund Hillary was appointed Knight Commander by the Queen of England. On June 7, 1953, the Queen awarded Tenzing a George Medal, which is a medal given for bravery actions. There was a speculation on the media about who actually stepped on the summit first. Both Edmund and John Hunt insisted that Edmund and Tenzing step on the summit together. Tenzing ended this speculation by revealing in his 1955 autobiography that Edmund reached the summit first. This autobiography was ghostwritten by an American writer since Tenzing was illiterate. In 1953, King Tribhuvan of Nepal presented Tenzing with the Order of the Star of Nepal, First Class. Tenzing Norgay became the first director of field training of the Himalayan Mountaineering Institute in Darjeeling, when it was set up in 1954. In 1959, the Government of India awarded him the Padma Bhushan, the third highest civilian award of India. In 1978, Tenzing founded Tenzing Norgay Adventures, a company providing trekking adventures in the Himalayas. As of 2003, the company was run by his son Jamling Tenzing Norgay, who himself reached the summit of Everest in 1996. Tenzing spent his last years in a house he named Gangla in Darjeeling, India. Tenzing died of a cerebral hemorrhage in Darjeeling, India, on May 9, 1986, at the age of 71. His remains were cremated and his grave was built at the Himalayan Mountaineering Institute, Darjeeling, his favorite haunt. Born into poverty, Tenzing Norgay reached the summit of international fame. He achieved it with discipline, hard work and positive attitude to reach his dreams. He became a symbol of achievement for his country. He helped his community, the Sherpas, gain a good living through mountaineering. He was also an illiterate man who was able to send all his children to good universities in the US.